They kicked our ass, so we figured those guys would be pretty good teammates. That was the beginning. That's what started it all.
Our goal was, you know, to have a podium sweep at every meet. When we did, it was like the pinnacle moment.
Back in 2002, when we first put the canopy piloting team together, the PD factory team, canopy pilots, Heath and I went up and we did some jumps with Jari Kusoma. And we had known that he and Vladi had done some flybys. Jari had flown past Vladi and grabbed a ribbon on the way by. So that was the very first introduction to a wingsuit flying past a parachute and trying to have proximity and relativity to each other. So we went up with Jari and we did a few runs. And I flew a wingsuit on some with Jari, and I flew a canopy, and then Heath got involved and he flew a canopy with me past Jari. And then we started switching off, and Heath and I flew wingsuits and canopies with each other, and we did a bunch of runs. We were flying Birdman Classics and Birdman GTIs, the very first wingsuits available on the market at the time. So they were really small wings. They really didn't provide very much lift, difficult to create speed with, but we were playing around with it in '02.
And we did some early experiments with wingsuits and velocities. I believe that was in like the 2004, 2005 range.
We had Guy Padawa with us at the time, playing around a little bit. We were flying Birdman S3s and S6s at that time, and comp velocities. I think we just got comp velocities for the first time. 75, 79, 71, those kind of sizes. And really challenging. Really didn't know what we were doing. It was still uncharted waters. There wasn't a lot to really. It was all about pioneering. It was all about how do we make this work? Let's throw some wingsuits out, let's throw some parachutes out, and let's figure it out. I think that's where Jonathan really picked up the torch. He did a project with Jeff NEBELKOPF that just set the bar for captured images of XRW. Before then, we didn't have anything captured. It's so difficult to do it. Trying to get anybody to follow us with a camera was just, forget about it. You know, the footage we got is terrible. It's that point of view kind of stuff when you're really trying to do something you're not good at. And so a lot of the early days just really isn't captured. But Jonathan set the mark. He and Jeff got these beautiful pictures over Moab and had him docked with Jeff, and that just set everything in motion that we see nowadays.
JT really took it upon himself to grab that project and run with it. We started he got a relationship with Taya and the Raise the Sky Foundation, and we had Jessica, Jonathan, myself, and then 3 wingsuiters started doing some early formation-based XRW. So at that point, docks had been happening between wingsuiters and canopy pilots, but nobody was doing formation stuff.
And we're so used to flocking under canopy with the PD factory team, like just seeing these wingsuits inserted in slots right between us and flying relative to us and having all this range was really surreal. It really was incredible.
We started more elaborate formation work and multi-linked formations, wingsuiters and canopy pilots doing moves together, things of that nature.
One of the highlights of the week, which didn't even really seem that big of a deal, was when Ian Bobo and myself were flying link together, and we both at the same time realized that we're kind of overshooting the drop zone, and just simultaneously did a big carving turn together, and we were both screaming the entire time. It was definitely a riot.
In the early days of XRW, we knew we needed to be, as a canopy pilot, really heavy and really fast because the wingsuits were at a major disadvantage. So we would wear 20, 30, 40 pounds worth of lead, and I had a set of toggles on the front risers that were help me at a 2-to-1 ratio pull the front end of the parachute down, and I would lock my hands down in under the chest strap, and I would fly my parachute from down here, steering from the front risers in order to keep the parachute at a very steep dive angle. That would give me the descent rate and the forward drive to be able to keep up with the wingsuiter for a longer period of time. It was pretty exciting. Sometimes things went wrong. I had one of those explode on me mid-jump where the weight, after doing a number of turns to build speed, just blew the line apart. The thing just disintegrated mid-flight and nearly put me into a catastrophic failure situation. So I'm really glad that turned out all right, but it was super fun at the time pioneering that stuff.
The main danger of XRW to me obviously could be collisions and entanglements and all that stuff, but one of the main dangers of XRW is actually the burble of the wingsuiter. Like the wingsuits nowadays, they fly so fast and they are so big that they create a big wake behind and above. So I remember we did one of these jumps in Dubai, flying with a lot of wingsuits and a lot of canopies, flying a nice tight formation. And when it was the break of time, as we broke off, one of the wingsuiters just went far away in front, man, like far away in front and out, to the point where like flying through the turbulence wasn't even my concern, not even for a second. Like he was so far away that nobody would think that there was any kind of wake or turbulence behind. But there was. Like my canopy flew through that wake, and as soon as it flew through that wake, it fully collapsed. It threw me head down, like canopy was collapsed. I went head down, and as I went head down, the risers, both right and left risers, came behind my neck, and as the canopy reinflated, then it hit me really hard on the neck, you know, and it has been one of the hardest hits and impacts I have ever received in skydiving, you know. It was really, really brutal. And it just makes you remember that, hey, even though it feels slow, calm, peaceful, and safe, because we are flying relative to each other, canopy pilot and wingsuiter, and it makes you feel slow and controlled, if anything happens out of the plan, it's high speed.
And we had this world champion acrobatic pilot named Zoltan, and we were doing some formation flying, and he was basically strafing our formation on this highly high performance acrobatic airplane, and he was so close and just ripping past us and just doing barrel rolls around our formations with smoke, and then we ended up doing this massive team carousel, 4 of us, and he's carving around the outside while we're doing the 4-way. Visually, it was really stunning, and it was this great combination of what we do and what's possible as far as an exhibition.
If I said too much, I know you're mine too. I had some dreams, I said some things to you.
Smoke is on, smoke is on. I'm going through, I'm going through.
Our teammate, Julien Guillot, he said, no, we can fly together, but not just fly together, like we can free fly together. And he said, you know what, I just have to get a good tracking suit that gives me a lot of power, a lot of lift, and a lot of movement to be able to turn around you as fast as possible. And all you have to do is just fly your canopy and spiral it down, and hopefully, as we keep doing some of those spirals and turns, we can get together, fix the axis, and just hold the axis and carve together face to face. all the way down, you know? And that's what we did. That's what we did. I was flying a 4.2 wing load with a Peregrine 61 with a lot of weight. It was just taking weight belts, like fully loaded weight belts, and I could take one, I could take two, I could barely put the third one. And the flying was also very physical because all those spirals, all those turns, like they make you very dizzy. And as we were breaking off and ending up the jump, I had to spend several seconds, like 10, 15, 20 seconds, just looking at the horizon, breathing deep, as everything was still spinning in my view, you know? So it was amazing, it was awesome, great video, great footage, but like I tick that box, it's done, you know? Let's see what's next.
Hopefully we'll be pursuing other things that people may seem to think are impossible and make those things possible as well.
You don't understand.